Hello, my name is Guinevere. I'm from Vancouver, BC, Canada. This is my week 6 assignment. I'm going to compare a soft synth called SUPERWAVE P8 with Loudon Simple Synthesizer. This is a screenshot of Loudon Simple Synthesizer. Here's a screenshot of SUPERWAVE P8. The first thing I'm going to compare is the oscillator. So Loudon's synth is a monosynth, meaning that it can generate only one wave at a time. But SUPERWAVE P8 is a polysynth, meaning that it can generate more than one wave at a time. So the waveform selections of these two synths are also different. Loudon's has a square wave option, but it doesn't exist in SUPERWAVE P8. But instead it has a ramp, pulse, and pink noise options that Loudon doesn't have. Frequency control is also different. You don't even get that option in SUPERWAVE P8, probably because it's a plugin in a DAW where you can play the MIDI and change the frequency there. The next thing I'm going to compare are the filters. And in Loudon's filter, there's a very nice graph that shows you what you're doing to your wave. And as for the filter types, both of them has low pass, high pass, and band pass, but SUPERWAVE P8 is lacking Loudon's band stop filter, which is also called a notch filter. And the cutoff frequencies and the resonance controls are numerical in Loudon's synth, but it's just a knob that you can only push up and down in SUPERWAVE P8. And there's also an extra function called KF in SUPERWAVE P8, and this means key follow. This means that if you turn key follow to 100%, it means that for every octave you move up or down the keyboard, the filter cutoff also changes by an octave, which can be a pretty useful function to have. As for the amplifier and the envelope, both of the synthesizers are pretty much the same, except for the visualization part. So Loudon's has a really nice graph, and otherwise the attack, delay, sustain, and release are pretty much the same. SUPERWAVE P8 also has, in this section, the main control, the main level control, which is what you see at the top there. It controls the level of the oscillator 1 and oscillator 2 in the synthesizer. The most important differences of these two synthesizers are probably their LFOs. So first of all, the simple aspect of it is that you can see the graph visualization in Loudon's LFO. It's missing in SUPERWAVE P8. The waveform selection is also different. There's a square selection in Loudon's LFO. There's the ramp and pink noise selection in SUPERWAVE P8. But the most important difference is probably the destination selection. Loudon's LFO is hardwired to the oscillator's pitch. But in SUPERWAVE P8, you can change the destination. It can be filter 1, it can be filter 1 plus 2, it can be oscillators, a different aspect of it, it can also be the amplitude. So this is an important thing to remember, is that LFO is a general purpose modulator. You don't have to hardwire it to any specific component. And the depth control in SUPERWAVE P8 is equivalent to the amount control in Loudon's LFO, and the rate control in SUPERWAVE P8 is equivalent to Loudon's frequency control. There's also an additional beat mode in SUPERWAVE P8, and this replaces the rate control, and instead of setting the rate manually, you can set the change, the frequency of change, based on the beat of your incoming music. And of course, Loudon's synthesizer has very nice visualizations. It has oscilloscope display and has spectrum display, which is very helpful in telling us what we're doing with our sound. And the amplitude main control is also found in this section. Now there are additional features in SUPERWAVE P8 like pen and modulation, more complex modulation, and that is covered in Loudon's video lectures but not in his simple synth. There are also effects control like delay, and so all of these are important add-ons that make this particular synthesizer much more powerful than Loudon's synthesizer. So in conclusion, I think SUPERWAVE P8 has way more functions than Loudon's simple synthesizer, but its major shortcoming is that it doesn't have graphs for visualizations, and also note that it doesn't have a user menu that we can download. Thank you very much for reviewing my assignment, and I hope you have a great learning experience with Coursera, and good luck in your upcoming journey in producing your own music.